I'm going to quickly step us through what the Epstein files tell us about 9/11. I wrote about this in more detail on my Substack yesterday. 5 months ago, I had a chance meeting with Congressman Thomas Massie outside of his offices, and I told him that the Epstein files might reveal something about 9/11, and they have. At the very least, we now know that there was a shadow 9/11 commission, a commission that Ghislaine Maxwell was invited to, which had secret members. But to understand how some of the people in the Epstein files are related to 9/11, we have to take a step back and remember why the public bought the official story from the jump. There are 3 reasons. First, it was former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak who appeared in BBC studios on the morning of 9/11 and told the world who was responsible for the attacks. It was rogue terrorist states. The interview aired 7 hours before another building in Manhattan inexplicably dropped to the ground in seconds. That was Building 7, and it was not hit by a plane. It's becoming evident that Barak had deep associations with Epstein, staying at Epstein's Manhattan property multiple times. But Epstein wasn't just a host to Ehud Barak. The files show that at least on one occasion, Mr. Epstein told Barak what to say in front of TV cameras. 2. The public was told years later that an official investigation proved that the 3 skyscrapers in New York fell to the ground in seconds because of plane collisions, office fires, or both. That explanation was provided by NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the folks who literally tell us how science is supposed to be done. Yet there are over 3,600 architects and engineers who are on public record challenging the validity of their findings. For over 24 years, NIST has refused to release key technical information, namely the raw data they used to construct their computer models of the Twin Towers and Building 7. Their model of Building 7 doesn't match the building's behavior, proving that their explanation of that building's destruction is flat out wrong. They also use computer modeling to help them explain why the Twin Towers fell to the ground in seconds into their own footprint, yet they never revealed what their modeling suggested. Instead, they decided to simply state that an analysis of the collapse was outside the scope of their investigation. NIST is a branch of the Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce is presently headed by Howard Lutnick, a multi-billionaire and former neighbor to Jeffrey Epstein. The files proved that he lied when he assured that he cut all ties with Epstein in 2005. He did not. Remarkably, Lutnick was also the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, a financial firm whose offices occupy the top floors of World Trade Center 1, the North Tower, which was struck by American Airlines Flight 11 on September 11th. Over 600 Cantor Fitzgerald employees were killed. Lutnick did not show up to work that morning. And neither did New York City real estate developer Larry Silverstein, who acquired a 99-year lease on the asbestos-laden World Trade Center complex months before September 11th. Silverstein had the foresight, luck, to purchase an insurance policy covering damages from terrorist activity 6 weeks earlier, a policy that paid out in excess of $4 billion. Silverstein was more than just friends with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. He boasted that the Prime Minister of Israel would call him every Sunday. Our government assured us that nobody could have seen this coming. No one. Apparently, these 5 young Israelis who were taken into custody for videotaping the plane collisions Lutnick and Silverstein avoided that morning. No one disputes 2 facts about these men. Unlike our own intelligence agencies, somehow they had foreknowledge of those events, and secondly, they celebrated them openly. And then finally, there is a psychological portion of the PSYOP. We were warned that anyone who challenged the idea that radical Islamists attacked America on that day must support terrorism itself. Do you remember what President George W. Bush told us 2 months after 9/11?
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
An eloquent appeal from a president not known for his eloquence. Did he come up with that himself, or did he get it from this man? Here's Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from a few years previously.
In the question of terrorism, there's no neutrality. There's no position of magisterial objectivity between good and evil. You have to choose. You're either with the terrorists or you're against them.
For all the vagaries and clues yet to be revealed, the files confirm that Jeffrey Epstein was linked to both the United States and Israeli intelligence. Are we to accept that the country mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files, the only country who stood to gain strategically, politically, and militarily from the aftermath of those events, had nothing to do with them? The pieces are in front of us. We have to put them together.